questions and wherever the conversation takes us. But I told you Friday is National Paella Day, which, you know, now there's calendars for everything. There's a national everything day. It was National Sloppy Joe Day last week. So that's, I saw it and I was like, paella, and I'm like, I bet Miguel will talk to me about paella.
Sure.
So I know you're from Spain, right?
Right.
So where did you grow up in Spain?
Spain, southern Spain, Sevilla.
Okay.
And moved to the island, Ibiza when I was 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how long have you been here?
37 years.
Wow. Nice.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So what are some of the things that you miss the most from Spain?
Mostly family and friends, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course a few things culinary.
Right, right. Tell me about those. I know I spent some time in Madrid for business, and I drank red wine and ate ham the whole time I was there, and manchego cheese.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I miss the most. You know, your jabugo and we call it jamón. That's of course you miss that. That's
Yes,
good.
yes,
So,
delicious, delicious, and the croquettes, the potato
yeah, makes
croquettes.
all that. Potato croquettes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the last one that I had there that I thought it was really good, I asked my cousin, that was right outside Sevilla, what it was chickpeas.
Oh, okay.
Chickpeas croquettes. That was so tasty.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. But the chickpeas that is made there, it has chorizo, there's block sausage, pork, chicken, you name it. It's loaded with a lot of good stuff. And
Yeah,
blend the whole thing and make it croquette. It was really, really good.
that sounds delicious.
I don't put it in, especially if it takes a long time.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the things, especially when you're doing a lot of home cooking and things that take so
Yeah,
much
it
time.
takes a while.
Yeah, yeah, I reserve that for special occasions usually. So how did you get started in cooking? Like, what was your inspiration with food, and what inspired you to sort of get into the restaurant business?
Mostly, more like a necessity than anything else. You know, being in this business, I usually was up front, never in the kitchen. But when you do that, then you have to definitely know what's going on in the kitchen, just in case.
Yeah.
And then circumstances, once again, you know, after the recession, then the best thing for me is just to stay there all the time, instead of being out.
Right,
So
right.
that's pretty much it.
Okay, okay. So did your family cook a lot growing up? I mean, where did you learn all the things that you're making in the
Right
kitchen?
here, for the most part, right here. It's just necessity. You see things going out and just take a look. And I always like to cook. I always make the paella in my home,
Okay.
back on the islands every Sunday with my dad. I did that all the time. But anything else back home, I didn't cook really that much. But as I said, once I get in this business, if you want to get ahead, I'll try to anyway you need to own the place.
Right,
And if you do that, if I didn't know how to cook, I would have been known
right.
with this huge recession that we had
Yeah,
in 2008.
yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, a lot of the things that I learned how to cook, it was from being in the kitchen with my mom and my dad and my grandmother and just watching it, right?
Yeah.
Do you need to get that?
That's pretty much no it's Monday.
People don't know your
I
dad.
just telemarketers, our customers know.
Oh, yes.
So they're all telemarketers.
Yep,
You know.
yep.
No, that's pretty much it. And of course you have to like what you're doing a little bit. And then they sort of start to be more interesting the more you know, or the more you get into cooking a little bit more. Then you get to know these, that. I know a heck of a lot more now than what I did a few years ago.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
Or I hope so.
No complaints for us. You see us often, so you know we don't complain. And in fact, so our youngest son, he's tried so many things here. You know, we came for, I think, Matt's birthday, and you had frog legs on the menu. And he's 11, right? He says, "Oh, I want to try that." And he's had the octopus here, and I mean, so he's my one that will eat anything. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I said to him, I said, "What do you want for lunch?" Because you know they're home with me because of Corona and everything. And I said, "Well, what do you want to have for lunch?" And he's like, "Well, they got pizza for lunch." He said, "But for dinner, can you make homemade Alfredo sauce?" And I said, "I can probably do that." He said, "Can you put chicken and broccoli in it like Miguel does?" So I did. It wasn't as good as yours, but we've been coming here, I mean, I think we moved up here, what, almost 15 years ago, and I think it was Cafe Del Mar then, right? But, you know, my sister has been here, our parents have been here, my aunt has been here. So, you know, we came a lot in the beginning when we first moved here, and then with having small kids, and it, you know, gets to be a little bit crazy to go out. But now our oldest is 15, so we just said, oh, we're going having Miguel's. We're like, put dinner in the crock pot, or, you know, eat up a pizza or whatever, we're going to Miguel's. So that has helped us be able to get down here a lot more, which is nice, because we literally live 2 minutes up the street. And Michelle is great, because I'll call and say, hey, we're coming down, and as soon as I start walking in, she makes my martinis. So she doesn't even have to ask me. Yeah, so we feel like this is our spot. Yes. So I also wanted to ask you a little bit about, I mean, the past year has been insane, I think, for everybody, you know, professionally and personally. How do you think you guys have changed during Corona? I mean, obviously we had that period where it was just takeout only, right? And now capacity is being reduced, which hopefully everything's opening up in a couple weeks. So how has that affected you, and how has that kind of changed your thoughts on the industry?
Well, the industry has been changed already quite a bit, you know, just because of this virus, all the change. But it's moved in the area, it's definitely made a big change, more than anything. The virus definitely put a good stop into a lot of things, income, obviously, especially this past December when we have a great month. On Christmas party, it was always to take out, so that one did hurt a little bit. But once again, you know, just I don't need hardly anybody in the kitchen. And we didn't have the patio, which was our schedule, really. So after the takeout, you open that porch and it's full every day. From 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock. So
that's what I would say to Matt. I'm like, hurry up, let's call Michelle so we can get a spot.
that was great, but nevertheless, you know, paying full. I don't have my bar yet. I don't have my bartender. Lori, I miss her quite a bit. And so she misses us also. Hopefully she'll be back. She wants to be back. Pain in the neck. But
like you survived.
We survived. As I said before, the recession was, I think, for more painful. Because that was very, very long. A lot of places around that is shut down. A lot. At least 10 or more restaurants just in about 3 or 4 miles range. It went down. So I guess that one was difficult. And this one once again, so hopefully the next few years will be nice and perfect, you know, for me and everything else, so I can retire. I bet. But we'll know what we have to do. That's I just keep on going, and Michelle's doing very well. And Crystal, you know, and the 2 little boys that I have back in there. So, you know, we're doing all right.
It's like a little family here.
It is.
Which makes it nice.
Someone come in and talk to me about working here. He's been working with me before, and we'll see what happens. That is some help. That is some help. Mostly prepping, cooking on weekends. And cleaning.
It's a lot to handle.
The cleaning, it doesn't go away. You know, I hate that.
That's what he always yells at me. He says, you cook all this food, but then he has to go in and clean up after I'm done cooking.
You clean up, and tomorrow is the same thing again, and then you clean up, and it's all over.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's you know, I'm trying to get some help.
That'll be good. And the weather is starting to turn, so hopefully the porch will be open up again soon. And I think Corona or not, we fell in love with eating out there. We're such people watchers too, so we like to see other crazy people go by.
Go to the island where I used to live, you'll get plenty of that.
Let me tell you, I could use a trip right now. I think we all could.
Hopefully next year we'll be fine to go. Because right now you cannot travel in Spain from most places to another. It's still lockdown. So we'll see what happens. I got both of my shots already figured off. So we're good to go.
Good. Well, we'll get ours when it's our turn. We'll see. But we're anxious to. My dad and my sister live in North Carolina. Matt's parents live in Florida. So we haven't seen Matt's parents since September of 2019.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen my dad and my sister since December of 2019.
Yeah.
So we're anxious to be able to see everybody and get back to somewhat
It's getting
normalcy.
there.
It is.
And once everybody's vaccinated, then we should be good to go, I guess,
Yeah.
in the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, they say hopefully by the end of May or early June
Yeah.
that those people will be vaccinated.
That's what I
So,
hope so. By June,
Fingers
so
crossed.
So let's go.
Yes, good. So tell me about some of the things, like what are your favorite things to cook? Or actually, more importantly, what are your favorite things to eat? What do you like to eat?
Oh, that's an easy question. Anything that everybody cooks for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever everybody cooks for me, that's my favorite.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yeah, you're not complicated.
No, just if I don't have to cook it, then it's just great.
Yes.
Could be a hot
Yes.
dog.
That sounds very familiar. That sounds like my dad. He says he spent so many years cooking that
Exactly.
it always tastes better when somebody else makes
Oui.
it. So.
Well,
But he's pretty funny. He's a total snob because when we go out to eat, most places, he's like, I should have saved my money because I can make this better.
Right, you always really do.
Yeah.
I try not to, but once in a while.
Yeah. We eat out more than we probably should, but we just like to try all new things, and we love all different types of cuisine. And we're trying to expose our kids to all different types of things. We'll take them out for Indian food. They love Greek food. They love all kinds of food, and I feel like that's really important. Because if you don't expose kids to a lot of that, that's how you end up with the picky eaters that only want to eat like French fries and chicken fingers,
I
right?
agree. I agree with that,
Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like food is it's usually, for me anyway, it's more of an experience, right?
It is.
I like to sit down and enjoy food with people that I love, people that I care
Yeah.
about. The best conversations happen over a great plate of food or a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Well, this man would take that very seriously.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes. I remember I was surprised when I was there for about 7 days for a business meeting. We stayed at this wonderful hotel, and we had like a 2-3 hour break every day when it was lunchtime. And we would go down into the dining room, they had tables reserved for us, and there were a couple bottles of red wine, a couple bottles of white wine on the table, and I'm thinking, because here normally, at a business lunch, it's like you're not really supposed to be drinking in the middle of the day, but it was.
Well, I don't think it's the same thing right now, but when I was, I think it was like 17 that I worked in this hotel, we lived there also, we lived there, and then you of course have breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. Lunch time or dinner time, whatever that was, or both of them, you have your own table with all your things to eat, and then in the middle with carafe of wine.
Yes. I can get down with that.
What you're working.
Yeah.
It makes you a more pleasant employee though, right?
That's your lunch. and some people actually put sugar to get a little more of a buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's interesting.
very interesting. That's how I did it, but those days,
That's funny. So tell me, I think you told me before that you have 2 daughters?
Yes.
And they live in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think about the food and the cuisine down there, Cajun cuisine? Is that something that you enjoy, or is it?
Oh, I love Cajun cuisine.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think there was enough Cajun places in there. Honestly, that makes some little funny. But there's food from all over the world. You get anything you can imagine. I thought I would see more smaller restaurants throughout the city.
Yeah.
Of just southern.
Right.
So that I think it's all a little short. It's not. It's New Orleans. It's a
Yeah.
city, and there's so many great places.
Yeah. We've never been there, but it's definitely on my list of places
It is
that
beautiful,
I'd like to go.
And the people are nice.
Yeah. And you find that a lot in the South. Both of my parents are from North Carolina. So we grew up eating all of that good North Carolina food. My dad makes fantastic barbecue, chopped barbecue, fried chicken, all of that really good stuff. Yes.
Without a doubt.
So I was always very, very spoiled. And in fact, when Matt's parents, they're both Pennsylvania Dutch, so they like to eat a lot of boiled meat and noodles. So they always, his mom loves when I cook. His dad is always like, what is this? He's like, it's not, what is he like, French cut green beans from a can? And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
no. So yeah, his parents definitely, I love to cook for them because I always cook different things. But his dad is not a fan usually so much. But your mom, I think one of the first times she had lamb was when I made it. I always make, my mom, I don't know where she got this tradition from, but Christmas Eve, she always would make a big roasted leg of lamb. So that's what I still do to this day for Christmas Eve. We'll do leg of lamb and roasted potatoes. And I usually like to make a big spectacle for the holidays, make big meals. And a lot of times he's like, it's just the four of us. He's like, who are you cooking for?
You have all leftovers.
Yeah, well, and there's some things that you don't know how to make a little bit of. No matter when you make it, it's always party size.
Right.
Macaroni and cheese, I always end up making enough for like 15 people.
Yeah, Michelle brought me this from the start a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Just make some.
Yeah.
And when I had sometimes I make chili because I like to eat other things that I don't have on the menu.
Yes. Yes, I can imagine.
I have one of those slow cookers in there. And put a piece of pork and let it cook all day long.
Yes.
So I leftover from Michelle. Well, leftover.
Yep.
It's so big. Just for me and my wife, I always give some for the kids.
Yeah.
The chili I give them a punch. And for Dan, her husband, and Dylan. Dylan ate the whole thing for lunch.
Yep.
So we would do that once in a while, especially on Mondays. I don't like to cook on Mondays.
Right. I bet that's your day off. That's the
Right.
last thing that you want to do, right?
Right. Well, it's just cleaning outside, so day off.
Yes.
So,
Well, yeah, you're closed, but not necessarily day off,
No,
right?
it's so
With
much to do.
customers.
Like, good day to mop and
Yep.
do all those things you get to do.
Yep.
Styles are getting old.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need any landscaping help, I know somebody that can help you. He's a landscaper for 25 years.
That's what you do for a living?
He knows his
Yeah.
way around.
Well, yeah, now I do landscaping for the government.
He works for Lehigh County now, taking care of the parks, but yeah, he's been doing that for the 21 years that I've known him.
So I might give you just a couple of tips because there's a couple of changes going on.
Yeah.
I always have my garden in there with all tomatoes and peppers and all that, basil. But my wife now wants that to be kind of little, just grass for the dog and myself to kind of run around there.
Yeah.
And put the boxes in here.
Oh, yeah, the container gardening.
Yeah.
I see you're not sold on that.
No. We have so much.
Yeah.
I've been doing some compost and it's into anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yep, I know that. We had to have some work done in our house. We had to replace our septic system.
Ooh.
And he used to have a big garden, and of course, they put the sand mound right where his garden used to be.
Yeah.
So he hasn't planted one again since, it's been what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, since we got the septic.
So,
No, I have a nice piece of land in there. I can put at least 40 tomato plants if I want to.
Yeah.
But she wants that for the dog and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need too much. Because tomatoes, but once they start getting red, and you can't eat them all the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I give them away here.
Yeah.
Decide
Yeah.
what I can eat.
Yeah.
Ourselves.
I will go over to Juniper Dale Farms right over, just up the hill here. And I'll get like a half a bushel of tomatoes and peppers. And I like to roast them in the oven with peppers and onions. And then I puree them up and freeze them. And then use them when I want to make like homemade tomato sauce or homemade spaghetti sauce. So I've gotten the kids involved in that as well. So they are starting to like to cook. The younger one likes to cook a lot more than the older one. The older one's kind of antisocial, and I feel like it's good life skills, right?
Well, absolutely.
So,
It's fun to cook and it's nice to put things together. And also make your own recipes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
that's what I do. I usually, if I have a recipe, I make it according to the written recipe one time. And then the next time I kind of do my own thing.
Recipes
And
are
this
best
is,
ladies.
this is why I'm not a good baker, because it's exact science, right? Where cooking, you just kind of put a little of this and that and you
My
taste
youngest
it,
daughter is
and
a good baker.
Really?
She's really good.
Yeah.
She's just make some really good stuff.
Yeah, that's not in my wheelhouse. My sister is
Takes
a
time.
baker, I'm not.
She used to make a burnt orange ice cream.
Ooh.
That was so good, but it's so tedious. That takes
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
And a lot of things, she makes a lot of good baking.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
went to school for that.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my next life, I may go to culinary school. That's what I wanted to do when I was younger. My dad actually talked me out of it because he said, I know you love to cook. He said, but, you know, when people have parties, when people are going out to dinner, he's like, you're the one in the kitchen. It's not like you're out there getting to enjoy the
Right.
party.
That's a good point.
Which, yeah, so that was something that I thought about, and I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll do something else.
At the same time, too, Maria, you know, it's almost just like learning a language. You do a lot better and faster if you live in a country that you want
Yes.
to speak the language than if
Yes.
you go to school.
Right,
So if you go cooking in the kitchen, you're gonna do better than
yeah,
going to school. And I know that for a fact. I've seen quite a few
yeah,
guys coming out of culinary school and with the big bill to pay back and
yeah,
they can use the resume to probably go and management will change
right,
to pork or
right,
Pepsi or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But that's where you learn the most.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely an art to it, I feel like,
Yes,
too, right?
definitely.
And you find what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
So I saw that a lot with my dad, you know, with the different things that he would, and he did all kinds of things from, you know, little small baby showers to, I remember when I was younger, one of his friends was an executive somewhere. He was getting married, I think, in the Bahamas. So my dad actually cooked up all of this food and packed it in dry ice, and they put it on a private plane and flew it to the
Oh, my
Bahamas.
gosh.
Because this guy was insistent that
No
they were
kidding.
gonna have my dad's food.
But that cost that guy a couple of bucks.
Oh yeah, but that guy, he had a couple bucks.
Oh, yeah.
He had it, so yeah, that was always interesting to watch him and watch the things that he did, which is why I always go overboard whenever we have a party. He's just like, what are you doing? I get a little crazy, but it's fun for me. I love to entertain, and I feel like that's one of the things that I've missed so much about COVID and not being able to
Right.
have friends over. And we usually do a big party the weekend before Thanksgiving. We call it Friendsgiving. And we have all of our friends and their kids over, and Matt fries a big turkey, and I'll do all the sides, people bring desserts, and we haven't been able to do
No,
that.
this year, no.
Yeah, so we might fry a turkey in like July. just because. And we always used to do a big pig roast. My dad taught him how to, you know, you buy the whole hog and split it and roast it over just a big open flame in the back.
Yeah.
So that would be, what would that take, like 12, 15 hours to do it?
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. But then he's like, I'm getting older. He's like, I don't want to stay up all night drinking beer and roasting the pig. He said, by the time the party actually starts, I just want to go to bed. I don't even feel like hanging out. So we said now that the kids are getting a little bit older, maybe we'll resume it and have them babysit. But yeah, so we don't have small parties at my house.
No.
Yes. So I guess just what else? What if you had to, like, just give a message, or if you had to sum up, you know, what your restaurant is about, or the way you feel about food? What would you say? Like,
What's my restaurant about? Well, I'm from Spain, so I'm trying to go there on that direction. But we're in Belfast, Pennsylvania, so
Yes.
you want to kind of blend both things.
mm-hmm.
You know, maybe you can call it continental, but actually most of the specials that I do, they are my recipes. And which is pretty much what I like the most. I can make sauce of just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the most part, most of the things that we serve over here is not right. They
Right.
come with a different sauce. Maybe that's the part I like the most. And open-minded to anything. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could have all the Spanish.
Mhm.
I mean, from Spain.
Right.
You gotta be careful when you say Spanish.
Yes. Yes.
Could be Cuban. could be-
Yes, so many definitions, right?
You never know. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with what we're doing right now. I'm kind of change things a little bit at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely seems like you guys are like one of the best kept secrets around here. You know, I belong to a lot of different food groups on Facebook. And whenever we come, I always take pictures of our food. He gets mad at me because I'm like, don't eat that, you have to take a picture. So I always take pictures and I post it. And you know, a lot of times people say, oh, where is that from? And I know I see other people around the area, you know, when they come, they'll post pictures on the food blogs and things like that. So there's a lot of people that don't really know that this place is here.
Absolutely, yeah.
So-
I think we're right there in Nazareth.
Yep.
Yeah. Close by, but they don't.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think, you know, just, I don't want to be selfish, right? It's like, I think it's great almost that it's the best kept secret because we can always get in, right? But I really do think that more people should come here, try it out. And that's what I hope, you know, from putting this out there as well, that people will see it, people will come and try it. And I feel like, especially in the next 2 weeks as, you know, restrictions start to get a little bit less,
Right.
people are dying to get out and
Yeah,
try new
yeah.
things. I mean, people have been eating at home for the past year, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Well, you're
so-
surprised. There's quite a few places here that the bar has been open all the time.
Yeah,
All the time, the whole bar.
yep,
You know, we've been trying to just stay away from nothing, just keep
Yeah.
us safe,
yes.
our customers safe. Most people don't give a damn.
Yeah,
All
we've
these
seen
places around
that.
here,
Yep,
they all, it is the most of them, they're all open bar.
yeah, we've seen
Which I don't
that.
understand, you know, we're all in the same boat, we're all hurting, but at the same time too, if we all do what we need to do.
It will go by faster, we can get back to.
And think about those people that are working in hospitals and paramedics and all the, you know, it's just, you gotta think about that whole picture.
Yep.
They
I
don't,
agree.
shame on them, I guess, or maybe they can't afford to do what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Right.
We're paying our bills and not making
Right.
money should be making, but we're paying the bills, we're fine.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
place it,
yeah,
which,
yeah,
you know, I cannot afford to get sick.
right.
I've been sick in the moment.
Yeah, yeah, and we've definitely seen that too. You know, some places here locally and throughout the valley that
Yeah.
people have just kind of business as usual.
Business
And
as
we made a conscious effort to not support those businesses.
Yeah, well,
And not that you want to take business away from somebody, right? But we'd much rather support you, one, because we've been coming here for so long. Two, you're our neighbor, right? We want to put money back into our own local community. Excuse me, and we'd rather eat at a smaller local restaurant than to give our money to like Applebee's or something like that.
Yeah.
One, the quality of food doesn't even compare, right?
Yeah.
But you have these places that have big corporate backing that they can absorb a little bit more of the downturn in the market, right?
Yeah.
Versus a small independent
Yeah,
establishment.
definitely. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but, you know, Maltese is not around the corner.
Yep, yeah,
And around the corner is fine.
yeah.
You know, once we get our bar back and our patio and full capacity, then we're good to go.
Yeah, but once Neil comes back.
Yeah,
then we-
Neil, let's see when he comes back. He tried one time. He tried one time and he was fine. Then his wife said,
Yeah.
But then I think that right after that they played, we have another restriction. They're going to go for something else. So,
Yeah,
or there were more cases coming out or
Mhm.
something. So
yeah,
most of the wives said, no, you gotta
yeah,
stay.
yeah,
Which I understand, of
Yeah.
course.
yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't need, it's not a job. for him.
Right, right,
It's like me going to play golf.
yes,
And,
yes.
you know, and it doesn't cost him anything.
Right, yeah, yeah. Well, he gets mad, Matt gets mad because I say the whole time Neil's playing his be quiet.
No, that's what he likes.
Yes, I'm always
That's what he
singing.
likes. So, but it should be coming back soon, hopefully, as I say, you know, but, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it and kind of getting back to,
In 2 weeks, we'll have our open purple, 6 tools,
yeah.
2, 2, and 2.
Well, that's why I told Michelle, I said, we'll be here. Save us a seat,
A
we'll
lot
be
of
here.
people
We
can't
miss being
wait.
in the bar,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't wait to be back in the bar.
Yeah, and it's just, we just enjoy it, and we've met so many people here just sitting next to them in
Yeah.
the bar.
Mhm.
In fact, I'm trying to remember, wasn't it, I think one of our kids' former teachers ended up sitting next to us at the bar? And she was like, I know you. And I'm like, I don't remember. She's like, I think I taught your son. So I love the fact that it's such a community feel here.
Yeah,
right?
we do have that.
Yeah.
We love our clientele.
Yeah. It's we've never had a bad time here. In fact, I think one of the best times we've had is when we came one time last year. We were sitting over in the dining room. And there was a big wedding party in there. When you started drinking the rum punches, that was the first time we had the rum punch. And we just had so much fun watching this big party in there. It's just, we just like to come and watch the people talk to everybody. So, yeah.
You know, that's this business.
Yep.
The nature of this business.
Yes.
A lot of good things.
Yep. Good.
Get a lot of bad things. Ours is the pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Not for me anymore, but you know, you work for the most part most of the holidays, and you get late hours and this and that. But hey, a lot of people working their minds and
that's
There's a lot worse things you could be doing.
there's a lot of things. There's so much work. So you're always committed to the business. Anyone that is that owns a business is committed to the business.
Yeah. It's like another child, right? It's
Don't matter what the business is.
right. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Good. Well, tell me about this paella recipe. You're going to share it with me, right?
Ooh, are you gonna make it?
I can try.
Alright.
I can try.
You'll make it just fine. But Maria, the paella, it's I think the recipe, the original one, which is from Valencia, south, but not as much south, maybe the upper. But the leaf was just right. That's what originated and the most part. And then it has come with a lot of different ways. You can put lobster, you can put king crabs, you can put a lot of things on it. Ironically, I don't remember putting any clams back home in Spain.
Oh, really?
No. But, you know, going back to the recipe, I don't know if you want to, what are you going to have there?
Yeah, we'll have it on there.
Have it recorded there. I'm not going to eat the one that I have here because that's not the best one. But it's not because you don't have, and you will have issues. Because people like to alter things, change flavor, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to the recipe that we used to do in Ibiza for my parents. Most people in Ibiza did that. Every one day we'll do that, dig a hole in the backyard and I'll get a paella
The
pan.
giant pan.
I have some if you wanted to take it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll fit on my stove. We'll have to do it outside.
You gotta do it outside, the weather's good and bring it back.
Yeah.
But I have one that can serve about 6 people.
Oh, fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what we did there, we had pork, rabbit,
Oh.
and chicken. Those were the meats.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once again, you can put your king crab legs in there and your shrimp and mussels. And your rice, obviously. But then, once again, you know what, the one thing, a lot of people think, I don't know, but the rice is the most important thing once you make the paella. And also, of course, how the rice tastes.
Right, and it's short grain rice that you use, right?
Yeah, all long grain is fine.
Okay.
Okay, so long grain is fine. It's the same. You taste it long grain. But I just know that either is once again, as I said, in the sauce. So this is the same thing with the paella. You have to have nice broth, chicken stock, and fish stock,
Okay.
which I can't do it over here. There I could get small little fish that you make your stock.
Right.
And the taste is quite a little bit different. And also you're going to put some of the tomato, garlic, and parsley chopped to go with it. How would I start doing that? The rabbit takes a long time. So, you know, you just gotta set it all, you mix the rabbits first and then the paella pan at the same time too gets hot really fast.
Right.
So you put your rabbit in there, cut in pieces, and don't be afraid of the rabbit, they're so tasty. They're so...
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever had rabbit before.
They're so tasty. That's big in Spain. That's big in Spain. In quite a few different ways. But saute your pork, saute your chicken, and once you do that, then you're gonna put your tomato, diced tomato with your garlic and your parsley. According to how big the paella is, how much you're gonna put in there. I'm not gonna give you this much of that much.
I never cooked that way anyway.
No.
I was taught to, you put some of this in there, you put some of that, and then you do it until it tastes right. My dad never measured anything.
Once again, baking is a different story.
Yes.
Once you do something a few times, then you should
Right.
need to measure it.
Yeah.
If I have to measure things, I forget. But that's what you do, just get all that. We never put chorizo in Spain either in the paella. That's Portuguese. Just saute that, get it all nice and brown, and once you do that, you put your rice in it. At the same time, you just mix the whole thing up, and then you put your broth in, also then your chicken and your seafood broth. I would not buy a carton of chicken stock, bouillon. I would not like that. I'd rather just get a whole chicken,
Yes.
and you can just cut your bones, save it just
Yep.
fresh for yourself,
Yep.
and everything else go to make a good stock.
Yep.
Okay, with your vegetables, and also a little bit of a chicken base. That also helps.
Yeah.
Same thing with the fish. And you put them, both of them in there. And once you put the water in your paella pan, you should just
Leave it.
leave it. And the rice should be a little bit burnt in the bottom.
Yep.
Okay? The rice is steady. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I give you enough clue in there how to make that. That paella.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I can figure it out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to use the wrap, don't use it.
No, I would be eager to try that. I'll try anything. The only thing I don't eat is eggs.
Eggs.
I don't like eggs.
Just for a little bit.
Which he's like, what's wrong with you? He likes dippy eggs. Oh, no. I don't like that.
Runny
But-
eggs.
But yeah, I'll definitely, we'll give the rabbit a try. You'll eat it and Nathan will.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it's tasty. It's very tasty.
Yeah. We just won't tell Alex what it is. We'll tell him it's chicken and he'll
Yeah.
eat it. And then-
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's very simple. Then I'll put some lemon in there and saffron.
Saffron.
Now, this is another thing that is funny about the saffron. That we don't really put saffron in Spain. It's pretty much like a saffron powder. It's kind of a,
Because it's really expensive.
yes, and you don't really need it. We don't do that. We just put it in the food coloring.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just for the color though,
Yeah,
right?
just for the
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
So you got the saffron rice, sounds good and everything else, but we don't really do the saffron in there. We just put the food coloring and it's nice and yellow. But and then you eat it.
Sounds good. With some good crusty bread.
Yeah,
That
and
sounds
then
good.
you eat it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. We'll
Of the
see,
paella.
we'll see how we do.
And internet is so great today. You can go there also and do. But go and say recipes from Spain, paella recipes
Yes.
from Spain, and you can have a few different ones. But the most important thing is that the rice, and then
Yeah.
what you put in there is up to you. You
Yeah,
can
maybe
put lobster,
more.
cut in fork,
Yeah,
some small crab legs in
Yep.
there.
yeah.
That's really, really tasty.
Okay.
So, and then of course everything is once again it's ingredients, imagination, and timing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
when to put everything, you can put everything at the same time.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much really. It is fun.
Yeah, yeah, we'll give it a shot. It's definitely, it's one of our favorites.
Now,
So-
if you dig a hole in your backyard, let me know. You take a paella pan.
Yeah.
It's fun.
There you go. We'll definitely do that. That'll be
Oh, it's the
fun.
best. It's the
And we'll have
best.
some people over.
It's the
and,
best. All you gotta do is make sure that you have the same flame underneath all the time.
Right,
And
Yeah.
you're gonna have you fighting there, you're gonna stick in here, you're gonna be adding.
yeah,
So you keep it always the
Nice
same.
and
And
even.
it just
yeah,
tastes better. And you eat it with this gelatin muscle.
right,
No spoon, no forks.
yeah.
With the shell.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Less dishes too.
Well, you get paper plates.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
use the muscle.
Yeah, no, why not?
That's what we do in there.
Yeah,
You don't take everywhere to the shore. and
No.
nowadays.
no, just take your giant pan.
This is a pan.
Yes,
I
yes.
know this lady, you need to cook, yeah.
Good, good, and serve it with some nice wine.
Yeah.
I always have to have my wine.
Go ahead.
In fact, I don't know if you saw, but I got a case of wine in the mail
Yeah, I
today.
saw. Yes,
It was on sale.
Yeah.
You have to take advantage of free shipping. It was the California winery, and they had free shipping. So I said, okay, I'll buy it.
There you go. Yeah, I love my wine too.
Yeah, Corona has not been good for my wine though, because, and especially with a lot of the local wineries, like when things first started shutting down last year. I said, well, we have to support our local businesses, so I would go around and buy like cases of wine. He's like, you have no room left in the wine cabinet. He's like, stop buying wine. No, I can't.
What do you like, red or white?
I like mostly reds.
Mostly
Mostly
reds.
reds. I've been trying to try some different whites, and I found with a lot of them, with a lot of whites, I prefer stainless steel aged rather than like oak aged whites. That's just not a big thing for me. But I love reds. I love a good Cabernet or a good Rioja or a good Malbec. Those are usually my favorites.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong with that.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought one just a couple of weeks ago. Spain. It's usually about, I think it's about $60 or whatever. They had that's about 40, 50, whatever. I'll be here at like 30, 29 something, I believe.
See, I would buy it. I'm like, look, it's a
Well,
good deal.
That's such a great wine. No, I bought that one because I knew that wine.
Yeah.
I knew that wine when it used to be around here like $12 a bottle.
Mhm.
That was some years back.
Yeah.
So now it's like 50 something or whatever, but they're in on sale and I bought one and man, yes, it was as good as I remember.
Yes, yes, yeah. I enjoy a good glass of wine. So. Good. Well, I think I've asked all the questions on my list. Do you have any questions, Matt? Look, he's like, what are your specials this week? Since it's Friday is National Pie Day, you should make your special on Friday. What are your
Yeah, but I
specials?
can't make
No,
pie.
I know, so, yeah.
They know what they do, they have a big pie pan and they get one.
Yep.
And serve like 20 people.
Yep,
And
yes.
there you go.
Yes.
But I don't like to do that because over here, somebody wants it and maybe you gotta wait another
Yep.
20 minutes to get another one.
Yeah.
And it just is not.
Yeah, not,
You gotta cook it and
Yep.
put it out there.
Yeah, yes. Well, I do have to say, we've been enjoying the soups lately too. That clam chowder, we were here on Friday. That clam chowder was out of this world. Now, I have to tell you, I made clam chowder at home earlier last week, and it didn't.
Do you put any clam base in it?
I just used the clam juice.
Well, you have to some clam base. I'll give you some if you want to before you leave.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what does the extra.
Yeah. gives it
That's
that-
what you said. You're like, it needed more clam or something.
Yeah, and that's what you're like, but it doesn't need more clam
Clam
juice.
base.
And mine, I'm like, it's not clammy enough, but clam base,
You
I
can
think
base,
about
yeah.
that. Yeah, and we also love that, the
Beer and cheese soup.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah, somebody told me the same thing too. I said, but I was running that for 2 weeks on a row, so you know some people would change.
Yeah,
Because then it sits there.
yeah. No, and we love I mean, almost every time we come, I order off of the specials menu. Other than, I think the other thing that I always order, well, chicken croquettes, those are one of my favorites. The scallops, the saffron cream sauce, that's another one of my favorites. And what is it, the clams with the chorizo.
Yeah.
Those are all
sell
my
well.
favorite
All
things.
sell well. All the appetizers sells very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
People sometimes say you don't want to change the menu, but what do you take off?
Right.
And then also, most people, except on the special, you should put that on the menu. Well,
Yeah.
then it's gonna be like
Right,
Yeah.
right.
because you can't take this because, but oh, where's my?
Yes,
So
yes,
it's,
and then that's a lot for a one-man kitchen to manage a big
Yeah.
giant menu like that.
No, just you know, we got this menu. We put some special. Well, it's free appetizers and main courses. So
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, and you'll always eat whatever octopus special is on the list. I don't.
Octopus, I have to have that because a lot of people want catfish. You know?
Yeah,
People want their catfish.
Yes.
It's not even a special, you have
Yeah.
catfish. Well, I do. Because now we gotta make sure that we can accommodate
yep,
those catfish people.
Yes.
Well, I like that too.
yeah, yeah. Well, we love just about everything on the menu. I think we've had everything on the menu. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate